Welcome to Math Online here at Fast Forward. I'm Tiana.
And I'm Emma.
And we are excited to be your co-teachers.
One fun fact that you should know about Tiana is that her favorite snack is Flaming Hot Cheetos or popcorn, or better yet, Flaming Hot Popcorn.
So good. A fun fact about Emma is she will drink Dr. Pepper Zero. Has to be zero.
Yes.
Anytime.
Yep.
Any day.
Runs through my veins.
Yes.
We are excited to learn more about you guys as you take the syllabus quiz, and we will go more into what the course looks like and how you can be successful.
Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about your Canvas and what it looks like.
We're doing this tutorial for Math 1A online, but it might say Math 1B, Math 2A, Math 2B, Math 3A, or Math 3B, depending on what course you're in. We split up all the math credits into half courses. Math 1A only represents the first half of Math 1, and then you'll be enrolled in Math 1B once you finish Math 1A. There are 2 different online sections for each Math 1, Math 2, and Math 3, and completing all of those will fulfill your graduation requirements for math.
So here's your home page of your online Canvas, and if you'll notice, our online teacher is Emma, and her contact information is here. So if you have any questions, you'll be emailing or texting her on our Google Voice phone number. Over here is office hours, and she'll have office hours during the school year, and you'll be able to go into the Zoom with this meeting link and password, and those office hours should be updated. If you need to talk to her about anything, she will be available when you start your course.
Coming down here, before we get started at Unit 0, we wanted to show you guys this schedule. So if you click this schedule, it'll ask you to make a copy. So you'll just click make a copy. And where it says name, you can change this to have your name instead. I'd say like Tiana. This is my Math 1A tracker. And she just has a nice checklist here for you of what you should complete at the end of week 1, at the end of week 2, at the end of week 3, etc. So that you're on track to finish the course by the end of the term. And this is nice because you can just check things off as you go, and it's just something helpful for you to stay on track. So that's our landing page. Let's get started at Unit 0, Introduction to the Course. You are already watching this intro video, our Edpuzzle, so good job. You can see here on the module it says complete all items. Once you have finished this Edpuzzle, our little syllabus here, you'll have to click mark as done, and then it will let you move on to the next part of the module. So then you have this Derivita tutorial, and this is just a tutorial to show you how to use our practice assignments, which we'll get into later. You can see here that I have to score at least a 6 before it'll let me move on to the next one. And then I have to at least view the syllabus.
So if you'll notice, they are not open right now. Each unit will open up as you complete the previous unit. That way you'll stay on track and not get confused as where you're at.
And that is how the rest of the course is set up with these units here, where you'll have to mark lesson videos as done and practices you have to score at least 6 before moving on to the next one. Now that we've seen how modules work, let's break down different components of a module. Modules that consist of lesson videos, practices, and checkpoints. Let's talk about lesson videos.
Okay, when you click on the lesson video, it will bring you to a screen like this. The first time you go through the lesson video, you got to scroll down and you'll see this Edpuzzle. You can't skip on the Edpuzzle. You have to watch the whole thing and answer the questions. As you're going along in the Edpuzzle videos, it will pause you at certain points and ask you a question. And then I'll hit submit, and it will tell me that I'm correct. And then right here at the bottom, you'll hit continue, and it will continue with the video.
It's all right if you get a question wrong.
I know it says 0 out of 100. Don't let that freak you out. You are just graded on participation. The nice thing is that there's teacher feedback.
Reading the feedback we've given will help you understand why it's not that answer and help you get to the correct answer. While you're watching these videos, you'll be taking notes so that you can look back on your notes when you're doing the practices and the checkpoints in the unit. This helps you as you're going through the process of learning. Writing down things helps you remember them better, and then you can look back on them as you're taking the checkpoints. That way you can pass them. Each time a question comes up, that's what you'll have to do. Answer the question, hit continue, and it will continue with the video. When you get done with that, go ahead and mark done. But if you need to come back to a spot and rewatch it, you can come back and move around in this one and rewatch it without having to watch the whole thing. Or you're welcome to watch the YouTube video.
On the YouTube video, it's the same video you watched on the Edpuzzle, but the nice thing is we have timestamps down below. So if you're like, ooh, I forgot how to undo negative multiplication, you can just click on that spot and we will remind you how to do that. So that is the perk of using the YouTube link.
Your lesson video will be graded on participation. So as long as you complete the Edpuzzle, you'll get those participation points.
So that's everything you need to know about lesson videos. Work through the Edpuzzle. Make sure you click mark as done. And then don't forget to take good notes because like Janice mentioned, you can use any of those notes that you've taken for your practices, but they can also be used on your checkpoints. Now that we talked about lesson videos and making notes for them, let's talk about the next component, practices. We use our practices through Derivita, and on Derivita, you are allowed 3 attempts on each question, and then if you run out of attempts, you can try again. So just because you might get a problem wrong 3 times doesn't mean that you get 0% for that question. So we can type in here. This says not quite, it gives you some feedback. We can try again, so you can just erase what you did before. You can do a different number. Okay, we got that wrong again. Maybe we think 45 plus 8 gives me negative 20. We check our answer here.
Once you've got the question wrong 3 times, it will give you full feedback on how to complete this specific problem. So if you look at that, you can say, oh, now I know what I need to do, and I can try a similar question. It will give you new numbers for the next question.
So your score doesn't have to stay at 0% if you get a question wrong when you had 3 attempts to do it. You can click that try similar question, and if we get it right, then it lets us know we got it right, and it also tells us the process as well. So now we have 100% for that question. So the nice thing about Derivita is that you can keep practicing questions over and over again. If you want to review some questions before a test, even if you got 100% on it, you can still come back here and click try similar question and keep practicing those kind of questions. For practices, you have to score at least 60% before it will let you move on to the next section in the modules. With the summary, you can see your score, how many attempts you did to complete each question, and again, that final score has to be at least 60% for you to move on. Another component of practices is that you have to show your work. So you need to be writing down your work as you go, and you have 15 minutes after submitting your assignment to upload pictures of your work. So you can upload photos using your phone's camera. A QR code will pop up right here, which is super nice, and then you're just able to take pictures of your work and upload it. It's really easy.
Boom! That's cool!
So once you scan the QR code and select your picture, it will pop up here with your work, and then you can submit your assignment. We have surpassed the bare minimum mark of 60%, so we are able to move on to the next portion of our module.
Once you've completed the lesson videos and practices for the unit, then the checkpoint will open up.
A checkpoint is to check your understanding of the concepts of that module. So they're not as long as the practices. They're usually only anywhere from 3 to 6 questions, so really short. However, when you start a checkpoint, you are not allowed any outside help. So you can't have any teacher help, tutor help, online help. However, you are allowed to use any notes you had taken from the lesson videos or from the practices. The difference with the checkpoint is the quiz will be proctored. So when I click continue, Chrome extension will pop up right here, and it will ask you to download Proctorio, which is pretty easy. You just accept it. Once you have Proctorio downloaded, if you have any problems with that, just let us know. You see here that there's this nice green bar around. This is letting you know that you're taking a checkpoint, and again, you're not allowed any outside help. But you can use any of your notes. So you'll just work through the questions here.
If you get a question wrong, you can select try similar question. It's going to give you a different question. However, the second time you get the question wrong, there will be no more attempts, so you'll have to move on to the next question.
All right, so once you've completed the checkpoint here, we scored at least 60%. So we are good to move on. We'll have to upload photos of our work here. Once you upload the photo of your work, you can just click submit. Then you're able to review your quiz if you'd like to see any questions you missed. You can just close out the checkpoint here now that you're out of Proctorio. And we can see here that we completed this whole first module, and so now it's gonna let us start the next module. All right, let's take a look at how you'll see your grades. So if we click here on the grades tab, you'll already see this 16 here. That means 16 assignments have already been graded. And if I look here, I can see that they're all zeros. So don't be alarmed. It will just be that way because when you start off the class, this will be your true grade. You've done 0% of the course. And then as you work through more things, your percentage will increase.
So if you've only done 4 of the assignments, your grade percentage is going to be low because you haven't completed more. As you get more completed, that percentage will go up until you've finished the course.
You can see here on the side that 5% of your grade will be lesson videos, 50% of your grade will be the practice assignments, and 45% will be the checkpoints. So that's how your grades are weighted. All right, that was our little walkthrough of how our Canvas page is set up.
We know that doing math in general is hard, and especially if it's online, but know that there's always help.
You can always come in person for help on Fridays from 8 to noon. Our school is open. Any of the math teachers here are happy to help you. And you can also visit Janice and the Student Center during normal school hours as well.
For online students, remember, you can come in person to get your help, or if you would like to, you can use the office hours that Emma has, Zoom, and get help from her those times.
We look forward to working with you, and like Tiana said, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are here to help and excited to get to know you better. Good luck!